Dave,
Here.
and Brenda here, and Jimmy,
Here.
and Gavin's absent, and we have a fill-in for the attorney. Tell me what your name is again, I forget.
Austin.
Austin. Approval of minutes. Jimmy, we have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes by Jimmy. Can I have a second?
Yeah.
Floyd will second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Claims, Gloria? Yeah, I gave you claims, you didn't get them? Yeah, but we have to review and approve Yeah. those. Is there anything that you need to talk about in those? I don't think so. Let's see. There's January, there's the end of the year ones that was paid, and then there's the ones that have these for this month, January ones. Two different sets if you look at them. Just has the payroll and has the, all the bills we paid. I paid the thing, the paving grant thing, it was paid this month too, so. Any questions regarding the claims? Can I have a motion to approve claims, please?
Make a motion to pay claims.
There's a motion on the table by Jimmy to approve the claims. Can I have a second? And Floyd will second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? We don't have any table business at this time. We need to vote on board president and vice president for the new year.
I make a motion to be president this year.
You make a motion for what?
President, so you.
For me to be president? Is there a
State her name, Jimmy.
What's your name, Jim?
Brenda Beatty?
What's your name?
Beatty, Brenda Beatty.
Really?
Yep.
Why did you sign the truck on the Brenda Orsman?
Why did I sign what?
You said you signed Brenda Orsman.
On what?
On the, who bought the truck, it was in the newspaper, signed that one.
Because I was Brenda Orsbon, I am now Brenda Beatty.
But you ran on Brenda Beatty the first year when you looked.
Dave, my name is Brenda Beatty. I've been Brenda Beatty for 8 years.
Why'd you sign it Brenda Orsman?
Because that was what my email was, and that's what they put it under. I'm still the same person. You always have a complaint other than what helps the board. Is there anything else that you would like to
Oh,
complain
yeah,
about?
probably gonna be.
Well, let's go. Get it out.
Moving on.
So there's a motion on the table for me to be president. Is there a second? Floyd? No, I'll second it. Let's vote.
I
Jimmy?
nominate Dave.
Huh?
I nominate Dave.
Well, we're voting first on the first one, so. And Jenny, your vote?
I vote for you, Colonel.
That's a yes. I vote yes. Dave?
Nope.
Floyd? You're the tiebreaker. Gloria, what do you vote? Yes. All right. Let's vote for vice president. I make a motion for Jimmy to be vice president. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Jimmy seconds it. Let's vote. Dave?
No.
Floyd?
No.
Jenny?
Yes.
Brenda? Yes. Gloria? You're the tiebreaker. Yes. All right, there you go.
Wait a minute.
We need to make a vote on making Mr. Cave the temporary town marshal until he is done with academy. Can I have a
Make a
motion?
motion to take him.
Jimmy makes a motion to make Cave the town marshal, temporary. Is there a second? Floyd will second it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Floyd is an aye. Dave?
Nope.
It passes 3, so he is now town marshal. And we had 2 utility workers. We had 2 utility workers that we interviewed for the position of a utility worker, one being Mr. Gore and the other one being, I'm gonna forget your name, I know. What is your name? Fugit, Seth, yeah. So we need to vote on, somebody needs to make a motion and we need to vote on Gore or Fugit for utility worker.
I'll make a motion to hire Seth Unit.
Is there a second?
I I'll second.
A vote, Jimmy? No? Dave?
Yes.
Floyd?
Yeah.
Yes. So now, we also had interviewed police officers, but Mr. Cave has decided that we're going to start them out as, you go ahead.
Decided to get reserves hired on, and then that gives the officers a chance to see if they want this and kind of prove themselves to the town, because the town has run into several, or not several, I won't say several, but officers in the past not working out. So this gives a chance for the officers to see if they're going to do this and work out for the town's best interest.
Is all that going to be reserved, the interview?
Say that again?
Is all that going to be reserved? We interviewed about 5.
We're going to do 2 reserves.
Okay. So how many did we interview? 5?
I think we did interview 5.
5, yeah, I was counting it. Yeah, 5.
Does any of them say they don't want them or anything?
None of them have said they didn't want it yet. I was going over with the town, a couple of town board members about who we're going to choose as reserve. In the past, it's always been up to just the town marshal, and we're trying to, but there's also been a lot of friction between police department and town board, so I'm trying to collaborate, that way work together more. So we're going to go over a couple of those things.
So your recommendations for the 2 then is what?
I think we had talked about Andrew Cruz and Alexander Heath. Were the
Heath?
two.
Is that what you said, Alexander
Yep.
Heath?
What's for?
Andrew Cruz.
Well, with you now being the town marshal, we don't have to vote on doing reserves, so it's at your discretion.
Is the board good with that one? Yeah, let's choose them.
So we're
We've
bringing
got 3
on,
now, right?
So we'll have 3 now.
We got 3 now.
and then these, once you see how their work ethic is, then you plan on hiring one of them as the deputy, is
In
that my
March.
understanding?
Yep, one of them will be hired in March or April, one or the other.
When
Before
you
you,
going to school? Rick?
Because I go to academy, the first day is May 4th.
First day of what?
his first day of academy.
May
I know
4th.
that, when did you say it was first day of May?
First, no, May 4th.
May the 4th. So then one of your reserves will take your place.
Yeah, they'll be hired as a deputy, so that way the town would still have a full-time officer.
We have some estimates on getting the police car fixed. The one police car, not the one that you drive, what's the other one?
The Dodge Durango.
The Durango has an issue with the dash. Every time they try to drive it when it's cold, the dash freezes up and they don't have any speedometer or anything. Is that my understanding?
Yes, correct. Sometimes it'll freeze up black, sometimes it freezes up yellow lines. It's been to 2 different dealerships now, and yeah, it's a costly fix. It's in the wiring. I found out later from another police department that that's their thing they hate the most about the Durangos is the wiring and the dash.
When we bought it at Gaddis, unfortunately, our warranty has expired just a couple months back. We did get an estimate to get it fixed. It's $1,093. I need a motion to be able to have the Durango fixed so that they can drive it. Jimmy makes a motion on the table to fix the Durango at $1,093. I need a second.
Yeah.
Floyd will second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
They haven't got me
Everybody's
a
in
quote
favor.
yet.
Huh?
They haven't got me a quote yet for the radar. Remember the
Right,
radar?
right.
It's out, and they think it could be correlated with the dash, where the wiring was, so they're gonna check that out when they do all that.
Also, the tires on the Durango are bad.
No, we need 2 tires replaced on the Durango, and then there's gonna be all 4 tires on the Tahoe.
But right now, we got an estimate for the 4 tires on the Tahoe, is that correct?
Yep,
And it is how much?
$1,300.
$1,300.
Walmart.
Get an estimate off Johnson down here on South Marine Street, turn it in.
Okay.
He
What's a
sells
good
tires.
brakes for them? We got government calendar.
Doesn't need brakes, needs tires.
What do you say?
Bridge work would be government buy, government price. Bridge work alignment.
I'm still not understanding, Dave. I can't hear you honestly.
Bridge work alignment.
Break something
Bridge
on
work.
Grinch Fork,
Bridge green.
Greens Fork, and
Are
what
They
about
over at
Greens Fork?
Newcastle? Green Fork's over at Newcastle.
Yeah, they government, or city, county, they all areas have discounts, or they get a government rate.
Okay, so I'll give you this information, we'll look it up, Greens Fork, we need to look into Greens Fork and see how much they will charge us. Are you saying tires too?
I'd get them all replaced, so just replace it too.
Well, that's what I mean though, so they'll do tires, brakes, and alignments, right?
They do
The only
all.
reason why we chose not to get all 4 on the Durango, so the Durango actually just had new tires back in this past March.
But you busted one, and that's why it has
One got
to
busted.
be
Yep.
replaced.
Actually, one got busted, one had a nail on the same deal on the sidewall. It's
So-
like 2.
We'll still call and see what it costs to get 2 for the one and 4 for the other one. All right, so regardless of cost, the one, they have to be replaced. They're not safe for them to be driving on them anymore. They're getting down to that point. So can I have a motion to go ahead and replace the tires?
Yeah, well, who we get the?
Well, we're gonna look into Green Fork, Jimmy. Something I do.
Here,
Oh,
we-
I got it. Do what now?
We're gonna look into Green Fork, but regardless, it's gonna be Green Fork or Walmart, whatever. Here,
Want to do the floor too?
we're gonna do 4 on the one and 2 on the other. On both vehicles. Cave. Which one needs 4?
The Tahoe needs 4.
So the Tahoe will be 4 and the Durango needs 2. And we're gonna check into Green Fork. We're gonna go with the lesser of whichever one charges us the less. Is that all right with all of you guys? So
Get
can I
one
have,
Johnson, do one 3 of them turn and.
so can I have a motion on the table to
I'll make a
replace the
motion.
tires?
Get 3 estimates.
All right, so Jimmy has a motion on the table that we can get estimates from Green Fork and go with the cheaper one. Do I have a second?
That's it.
Dave will second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any
Aye.
nays? All right, so that's taken care of.
What, instead of leaving Mr. Pugh hanging, are we gonna hire some?
We did.
Well, you never told him.
Did you hear the vote of yes?
Okay.
Okay.
So what about his drug testing?
He has to have, but before you can start, you need to go up and talk to Gloria. You have to have yeah, you have to have a drug test done. Okay?
We're gonna have that done.
I got it done at Lab Core.
Who did that?
We set it
I'll
up.
set it up.
It's not town ordinance.
Huh?
Town ordinance says you have to have a licensed nurse practitioner or licensed.
For the physical, not the drug
You better
test.
read it.
I did read it, and I
You
went
did.
over with Mara with it, Dave.
You gonna read this one?
Anyway, so LabCorp does have licensed people. It's a facility in Muncie, just so you know. So moving on. There is nothing with the parks. How about water or sewer? Anything new for you?
I got both. Actually, I'm gonna start with the street department, if that's okay, and the plowing.
Okay.
I'm just gonna change things up a little bit.
So,
So,
just screenshot it. I'll give you my number.
No, I don't have to do that, still scary.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, I'm right on.
So we're still using the 2 old trucks for plowing, only because the new truck has to be fitted with a plow attachment, and the old plow attachments that we have on the old trucks are on Chevys. The new truck is a Ford, and there's a 15-20 year difference and everything else, blah, blah, blah. So we still need to get that truck fitted for the plow. Plus, the plows that we currently have are pretty beat up and old, so we're probably going to need to get some new ones. There were some questions. So far, we've only needed to plow once, the whole town once, and we've gone around certain areas just to clear out some intersections that got blown in. And we salted about 4 or 5 times on specific intersections. I know that there was some concern about about the frequency or the timing of the plowing and stuff. There is actually some guidelines that we have. We do consider not only safety but also cost effectiveness, because plowing is expensive. We are using limited resources and limited personnel, So some of the things that we take into consideration, there has to be at least 4 inches of snowfall, drifting snow, weather forecasts. So if it's still snowing or it's going to snow some more in the next hour or two and stuff, we're probably going to hold off. Thawing, if there's going to be if the weather's going to thaw out in the next 24 hours, we're just going to hold off on snowing, icy conditions, and also the timing of the snowfall in relation to heavy traffic use. So if it's going to be like Friday night and stuff, we're probably not going to be too much of a hurry to plow Saturday morning because there's not much traffic. So also we are publishing this document on the website for anybody who's interested in reading this if they have insomnia or something, and but also just to make sure everything's clear. I think next time where there's a winter storm coming up or anything, we'll kind of publish this just so everybody knows what are the criteria that we use. Water plants. So we had to thaw out 3 meter pits. We had 5 shutoffs for water pipes that burst in houses, and just also segues into we are putting into effect if you need to have your water shut off at the meter because you do not have a whole house water shut off, we are not going to turn the water back on until you show proof that there is a whole house water shut off. Again, we have limited personnel, and it is time consuming for people to go out and turn off meters, turn back on and stuff. Water shut-offs for overdue accounts. We've actually just implemented something where you will be fined if you turn your own meter back on, and we've already had that incident happen. So the next time that meter is shut off, it may actually be removed.
That's the ordinance that Mara made the last time, is that there's a fine now for anybody that gets into the meter pit on their own. Yes.
And we also had,
Huh?
How much was it?
I think it's $175. I have it with me. I'll look over it real quick.
we'll have to,
175.
Yeah.
we also had an unfortunate incident where customer, we were just checking on their meter and they became very belligerent, so we did call Officer K, who came out there very promptly, and so that will be also something, because utility workers and contractors do
Ted,
not. Yeah.
I just need to read, on her thing, which I have right here, it says the first offense is $150, the second offense is $300, the third offense is $400, and then the next offense is $500, plus I think that there would be a courts involved. This is the one Mara came up with, I'll let him.
Because we already have one.
I think that's the new one that they said
Yeah,
that
this is
Mara
the
just
new
drafted
one.
or put in
Okay.
place last, yeah.
That's the one that Mara came up with.
Yeah.
So, I'll let you go on, sorry. He's
Okay.
gonna read it just to make sure I'm correct.
And there's, because that's kind of consistent. Actually, Muncie's thing is if you open your pit, you will be fined $400 on the first offense, and I think it escalates after that. And I think on the third one, it goes to the police.
We will still report it to the police every time here in this town, but after that, we'll do what the ordinance clearly says, but there will be a police report made every time.
Correct. And that's what it was this time. We also had a customer that became belligerent, and again, our utility workers and contractors, we're not here to get threatened and everything else and stuff. So if something like this happens in this individual, we are, again, if there is any work that needs to be done in and around that house and stuff, we are going to be contacting Officer Cave to make sure that we have backup. The sewer plant, actually we went from one extreme to the other. We had extreme cold, well, first of all, extreme wet. We had 2 inches of rain in 3 days, and then followed by a cold snap. And again, I just want to reiterate one thing. So at the end of the 2024, we had that 2 inches of rain. We received an extra 3 million gallons of sewage in 1 week into the plant. I know that Jimmy in the past has suggested using some of the old pits that were there to store some of that water and then processes it as when the conditions arise. Those old pits can only hold maybe estimated around 100,000 to 200,000 gallons. And again, we had 3 million in a week, and that wasn't really what I consider an extreme event yet. So if anything, we do need another way of, using those old pits is not going to be an option. to store much.
What is your suggestion then?
We have to do the long-term control plan and just separate the sewer from, the storm sewers from the sanitary sewers.
All right, thank you.
Well, I was not gonna bore you about some of the, old stuff. There's, I have some stuff in here about like why this is a bad problem and stuff. Well, basically, the sewer plant runs by having these bugs that grow in these oxidation pits, and they eat all the nasty stuff that comes in from the sewers. If we have a huge increase in water flow, those bugs will be washed out. What that means is that we'll have to get replacement bugs from other plants, probably from like Pennville, Albany, Dunkirk, Muncie. Like a semi-truck
Do
will
we have
hold.
to pay for those then?
Yes.
Okay, so
We
there's
have
a
to
fee
pay for them,
incurred.
but there's also, it's mostly because you have to hire these big trucks, because the plant holds 250,000 gallons of water for the, and the bugs to process the sewage. So, and each truck, I mean, you can get a 5,000 or 10,000 gallon truck. So at 10,000 gallons, I mean, it's gonna take a lot of trips to fill up 250,000 gallons. And also it takes a while for that sludge to kind of get used to the new stuff. So the plant's gonna be really not effective for about a month. And so IDEM's not gonna be very happy with us for about a month until the plant is up to speed again. And that brings us into the long-term control plan. Now IDEM has forced us to draft another long-term control plan update, basically to deal with this flooding. So I drafted something up, filed it on December 31st. I have hard copies of it. The whole plan is 50 pages long, and again, this will be available online if anybody's really wants to torture themselves and stuff and read this. But basically, and IDEM is forcing us to do this. We're kind of on our last, we can't really delay this anymore. There are large projects and small projects that can be done. That's what's proposed. The large projects involve 4 projects that diverts the storm water into the creek, and so it doesn't go into the plant. And each one of these projects is like $2 million a pop. So we're looking at, we've already made contact with the Indiana Financial Authority because Redkey can't afford to do this by itself. So we were looking at granting opportunities and forgivable loans to fund these projects. There's also a number of smaller projects that can be done, such as smoke testing to find where there might be inflows, say from people's houses and stuff, downspouts, sump pumps and stuff that are connected to the sanitary sewer, which they shouldn't be, disconnecting sewer lines from abandoned houses, replacing manhole covers from flooded areas and stuff. So there are smaller projects that we can start now, if IDEM says it's okay. But there's also public participation, so there's going to be a committee that will steer which way to go and which projects to fund, and then seek feedback on how effective it is that these different programs are at stemming the flow of stormwater into the sewer plant. But also, in terms of public participation, smoke testing and some of these other projects, they can be more effective if people volunteer and help out and stuff like that. So that might be a campaign that we're going to be starting once it warms up. But we may be asking for volunteers and stuff if anybody wants to help the town out, and just, you're going to be walking around the town in a certain block or whatever and just look for smoke coming up out of the ground or wherever and stuff like that. But we'll be putting the word out once we get a little bit more organized about how exactly we're going to do that. Again, if anybody wants the copy of the long-term control plan, Floyd.
I want the short term.
The short term?
Yeah.
Short term, we're gonna press on keeping on. All right, so that's about it. Are there any questions?
No, I just want Austin to clarify how do you read what that says?
So,
Tampering.
so for each violation, the individual can be fined up to $500 each time.
Okay.
But the first one is a minimum of $150, the second time a minimum of 300, third time a minimum of 400.
But even on the first time, if the council would vote, they could be fined $500, is that, or up to $500?
Yeah.
Can we
So-
just,
Plus-
pull the meter?
Huh?
Can we just pull the meter?
Well, sometimes if the person has been known to do it before, they do put a lockout tab or pull the meter out. But in the wintertime, at 20-some degrees or below, once they open that up, it freezes stuff down in there, so they don't like to open the meter pits, so
They gotta open it up to turn the water off, don't they?
they do, you're right, you're
So
right.
why can't we just? change
They
the
could,
meter?
they could,
It's just two,
they could,
one on one end, one on the other, just turn the water off, pull the
they,
meter.
they could, Jimmy.
Save a lot of money for them.
But we
Do they
shouldn't-
still have to pay the $50
But we
$100?
shouldn't have to pull the meter to keep people out of the meter. The ordinance clearly states that they're not allowed to be in there, and clearly they're not allowed to be in there. So,
Well, the other thing is time. I mean, to turn a meter off, it may take a minute or two, just get that wrench in there and turn the thing, but to actually go down and take the meter out, you're laying on your stomach, you can only fit one arm down in there, and it's a challenge.
some of them are really deep too, and it takes somebody really thin.
But if
You
turn
almost
it
have to put them
off-
way down in there.
If you turn it off and you put your lid back on it, then in order to catch them, you gotta go down with the police and see.
No,
if
we
they
don't,
catch
not with a
them.
smart
Or you wait
meter
till you read
anymore. Not with the smart meter testing. The smart meter tells us if that water has been used every 15 minutes of every day.
Yeah, but we're paying $650,000 for 500 smart meters.
That are already paid for. I don't understand what you mean.
Brenda, are they all in?
No, we have 222 or 21 or 22 in, and then they'll have the rest of them in by after spring.
Who do we
So,
buy them from?
Utility supply.
Yeah, utility supply. And we didn't order those. That was council's before us.
Are they in where we've had problems?
Are they in?
Smart meters in where we've had problems?
Yes, 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 yes.
So
So I go down on a daily basis and I run a test on them and I can see if they are or are not using water. And if they are using water, then it's clear to know that if we, the town, didn't turn them on, then there's a problem. So, yes, and it's easily to
Easily
know.
checked.
Yes, yes, it takes about 3 minutes to
Good,
check,
good,
that's it. So, anything more on water, sewer, or streets? Adjustments, okay, we have adjustments. Gloria's gonna go over
We
adjustments.
had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 adjustments. And the first one was from a bad meter. It was 10,018 gallons used. The bill was $210. The new bill was $117.53. $93.13 was adjusted off.
And that was the smart meter that went haywire, right?
I think so.
Right, Billy? Yeah, we had one smart meter that they said it only happens one in so many thousands of them, and it started back reading, so it would back flush everything, and we had, so
What
that
did
was,
they do?
we had to turn it back in, and they replaced the whole meter, but for them, they had to go and change the whole top and everything. They had to change the meter, the top, and everything, the radio read, so. Sorry, Gloria, go
That's
ahead.
okay. And then the second one was 10,569 gallons. It was $250 bill, and it was adjusted to 158.41, a difference of 91.73. And the third one was 10,097 gallons. The bill was 596.21, adjusted to 174.63. And then someone had a bad leak, and the reason they used 10,708 gallons. Is this right, Billy? Their bill was 1719. Wow. And it was reduced to 95.55.
How did you come up with that, Billy? The 95.55?
Ever since they've been here, you take the last 3 bills,
Was the leak on their side or ours? You can't adjust it down to what there normally was. If it was on their side, then they are responsible to pay a portion of the bill.
all I know is when I hired it, they told me to take the last 3 months, add them up, divide it by 3, your bill's always 95, and that's the only way I can do it.
That's
So I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, that's not how it works. So when you have somebody that has a big leak like that, you bring it to the council, and then the council decides whether you'll give them a 10% discount, a 25, 50, 75, whatever, if it's a big bill like that, and then the council votes on how much they're gonna be responsible for paying, so.
Well, it was right uptown at that
Yeah,
building.
and she owes part of that money, so that, I mean, I'm not gonna vote to agree to the 95, 55, go ahead, Ted.
I think we passed an ordinance, you're allowed a leak. A leak is a leak, and you're allowed one.
One adjustment a year,
One adjustment a year.
that,
If she's got a
that,
leak, no matter what it is, she's allowed adjustment.
I guess
And
you're correct in
adjustment
that,
is
Jimmy.
3 to 3. We passed that ordinance about last April.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to, Dave and Floyd, we're gonna have to clarify that. We did pass that ordinance way back when you started, Dave, but we need to clarify that, cause we're gonna eat a lot of money, and when they come to do an audit, we're gonna have to account for all this lost money. Go ahead, Ted, what do you have to say?
In Albany, what they do is, they will have the homeowner pay for the water part of it, but not the sewer, because they consume the water, if it's a leak on the homeowner's side.
So they'll pay the sewer,
They pay the water bill, but not the sewer part of it, because that water never hit the sewer plant, it didn't go
Okay.
through that. So that's another option to consider for the council.
so, I mean,
So if we're gonna do that, people's got pools shouldn't be charged for their sewage.
say that again.
What Ted's saying is that you just pay for the water, you don't pay for the sewage. So if you get rid of whatever, but if people's gonna fill a pool, people are being charged for the sewage and water both.
That's why I said, when we voted to give everybody one adjustment, we need to put clarifications in there on how we want to, or how we wanna do it.
Because if people let their pool out, they're letting it out the ground, it's not going in the sewer, so
Right,
why
so,
not rise up? Same difference right there.
can everybody, I mean, will you write down your thoughts and turn it into the city building or something, so, and you two, Floyd, and you two, Jimmy, on how we should, adjust, yes, they get an adjustment a year, but on these big costs like this, we can't afford to eat it, Jimmy. We're gonna be in trouble when they come and do the water audit. Because they were already upset that we lost $85,000 worth of money last year that we could not account for.
What, you mean this year? I mean,
No.
when we started with the $85,000 they can't account for?
In
This-
2023.
Yeah, it was in,
2024?
they come every 2 years, is that correct, Ted? So in
Yes.
2023, so they came this year to do the audit for 2023, correct, Ted?
Yes.
And we could not account for $85,000 worth of water loss.
Well, it wasn't from these people having a leak.
Well, it could have been from a lot of leaks or a lot of pipe it can be from a lot of things. The meter's not reading correctly, it could be from a lot of things.
All I know
Could be
is
a main leaking.
It could
We
have been a
had
main
an
leaking,
ordinance.
you're right.
we had an ordinance that it had to be underneath the ground in order to get a leak. And we changed it, everybody gets, if you got a leak, you get the leak.
Okay, but I'm still, and
So you
that,
have to change the ordinance.
that's what I said, we need
But
to
the
work on
ordinance stands
changing
on
the
this right
ordinance.
now.
We
The
need to
ordinance
change,
stands.
we need to change the ordinance for some stipulations or guidelines on those adjustments.
We did change the ordinance.
If it's if it's over so much money, then, there still has to be something, and we'll work with Mara. I'll get a hold of Mara and let her know if you'll kind of give her a message too, but we need to work on, Gloria, will you fax Mara a copy of that, adjustment, ordinance that we passed, and then we'll go from there and we'll work with
So what we do in
Mara
the
too.
meantime on this one?
Well,
I
for
told
this
them-
one, I guess it's gonna have to be that way, right? Cause that's what we passed, one ordinance, so we're gonna have to give them that, is that correct?
We can revisit the ordinance. I'll make a motion to revisit the ordinance on the water usage.
I need a second to revisit that.
That's there.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table to revisit the adjustment ordinance that we passed.
Be the water usage ordinance.
And a second from, Dave put the motion out, Floyd seconded it, and we'll have to do a roll call vote. So Floyd,
Yes.
Dave,
Yeah.
Jimmy,
No,
and Brenda, yes. We're just
It's
gonna
on the
have to, we'll have to
adjustment,
adjust
you're
it,
already,
Jimmy.
you're breaking their own law.
How
No,
is
we're
that
not,
breaking
Jimmy.
it?
Passed a leak is a leak and they're allowed one leak for everybody.
We're gonna
Okay,
revisit
we
the
have 4
ordinance.
people
Jimmy.
that have leaks.
All we're gonna do
We
is,
have 4 people that have leaks.
We're
listen,
checking the ordinance.
all we're gonna
You
do
can change
is,
it if you want to change it.
we're gonna revisit it.
Checking.
Well,
The
revisit
ordinance.
it.
But already
Check
this
it.
lady,
Okay, like I said, these ones will have to pass because that's what we already have in store. Until we change it, we're gonna have to be okay with these, so we'll have to let Gloria finish up. I'm sorry that she has
Alright,
one
we
more
have
to
one
go.
more, and this one they left the hose on was 10,630 gallons, $298.92. It was just to 167.45.
Alright, so I need a motion to, pass these adjustments.
I make a motion, we pass everybody's leaks.
Alright, and I need a second. And Floyd will, so Jimmy put a motion on the table to pass the, adjustments, and Floyd seconded it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Dave says no. So Jimmy said yes, I said yes, and Floyd said yes. My goodness. Alright, Emerald Business Solutions, Derek, are you here?
No, he just
Derek
sent this
Bogenshoe?
bill.
Okay, so what's it?
I told him it's for the website that we have. Do we want to go ahead and have him continue it, I guess? Explain,
That's a
all
good
how
idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea too. So I need a motion to either accept the Bogenshoe site or to come up with a new one.
I'll make the motion come up with a new one. Talk to
Alright.
Mr. Cave about that, cause he knows a guy that's real good.
So there's a motion on the table to discontinue the services of Emerald Business Solutions. I need a second. I need a second to, we're gonna discontinue Emerald Business Solutions. So Floyd, will you second it?
Yes.
Floyd, I have a second by Floyd, so Dave made a motion to do it. Floyd seconded it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. So we're discontinuing that service and we'll find new.
John may give me a
recommendations?
solution, he knows a guy that's
And
real
so
good.
does-
Actually, there's, Indiana IT has, free government websites that, I looked into it, but I didn't have all the information from the town to fill out the information, like, your town numbers and stuff.
Are you guys okay with me giving her the information to at least apply, see what it costs and what it's all about?
Well, I didn't say I would volunteer to do it, I'm just,
Oh, I'll help you, Sarah, if you'll help me. I'll help you if you help me.
John knows somebody, I don't know if it's the same person.
I was
This
talking
is
about the
free.
IT itself.
You're not talking about the same
For
thing.
The
Yeah.
actual website.
this will give us a .gov, redkey.gov, and
Alright.
it's free through the state.
If you'll give me the information, I'll work on it.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean,
And then if I have any questions, I can consult you,
I mean, I
right?
don't mind helping out, but I do have a full-time job too.
I agree. I'll do it if you'll, if I have questions, then you'll help me.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna look into this Indiana IT. It's a free
Free
site
website, yeah.
for government, built for governments or
It's
whatever?
government, it's a .org site.
Okay.
And it also has you could pay your water bills through that. I mean, that costs, so. There's a lot of, options that you can do. You can have a storefront, you can have all kinds of things.
And
if
we
you
can
want
put
to
it-
do that.
We can put it for, to bring back up on next month's agenda, and we'll talk about it. I'll bring all the information, and then we can talk about it then if that's okay with
Next
everybody.
month.
Huh?
Next month, talk
Yes.
about it.
Yeah.
What Dave was mentioning for me was, with the IT side of it, the IT that we use currently, I just don't know, I don't think they have much experience with police departments itself, where the guy's been helping me lately when I had issues, has experience, like he's the IT for the county.
Okay.
That's what we were talking about. He just has
You're
all-
talking on Spillman side, right, Bill?
Yeah, and just anything.
That's what the county runs on.
Is Fisher's here for Fisher's tax abatement? Okay.
Okay, Fisher is wanting to do some renovations out at their plant out here in the industrial park. They're looking to put in approximately $2.5 million in real estate or the real property, renovate approximately 8,000 square foot to increase processing, packaging, and dry goods storage capacity, and add 2,000 square foot of freezer onto the existing building. And they will create about 8 new jobs. And personal property investment of about 1.1 million. New smokehouse, linking line, roll stock packaging machine, link separator, pallet racking, material handling equipment, manufacturing resource planning hardware and software. So the real property qualifies for a 10-year tax abatement, and the personal property would qualify for a 5-year tax abatement.
in conjunction, so the first 5 years, it's a double, is that what you're saying?
No, the tenure is just on the real estate.
Did you get a 10-year tax abatement, 2-year tax, and 5-year tax abatement 2
There
years
was
ago?
one in 2016,
Was it on real estate or was it on personal property? I think if it was a
real
tenure,
estate.
real estate.
That's when you guys first come to town.
When we first come to town,
Yeah, because you guys come out here. I remember that.
I got a paper where you all got, the Redkey Town will give you a 10-year tax abatement of $97,000. And then also they gave a Fisher Packing Company a 5-year tax abatement for $117,000. That was 2 years ago. Do you remember anything about that, or?
I don't remember the exact numbers, Jimmy, but that was for different equipment. And so they qualify whenever they make a new investment of new equipment or new renovations, or if they'd add on to the building, that qualifies for a new abatement each time they do that.
and so this is,
Well, no,
we did a $3.5 million renovation 2 years ago, and we applied for abatement then, and then this is a follow-on to that. This is another addition on top of the original one.
We've been a year trying to figure out this EDIC, and me and Jim's been over it 3 times, I've been over it 5 times.
okay, this is something,
Let me talk just a minute. Sue.
okay.
Okay, now I seen in the paper, the EDIC was bought by Gene Stiglman and the town people there for $2,000 an acre. It's 71 acres. All right, they bought that 30 years ago. Then somehow or another, the fish factory came in, and then the way I got it, we loaned them money, and they didn't pay it, so it come back to us or somehow. Then we ended up, but now, in 2018, they had $364,000 of the EDIC money. And we can't find out, we're not over it. There's 5 people out there that's over it.
Jimmy, that's
I don't know what's
something-
going on. Do you
that's-
know what's going on?
That's a different organization, that's something totally different than this.
Are you with JCDC?
Jay County Development, yeah. This
Okay,
is-
you're not with
No.
Redkey Economic Development?
No, no,
Is Travis over both though? Is he still over both?
no, Travis has resigned.
Well, when we went to the last meeting, he said he was had resigned, but he was still staying on and
Yeah,
working for a
he's-
period of time.
Yeah, but
So,
this has nothing to do with even Jay County Development Corporation. This is the town of Redkey's tax abatement, or Fisher Packing.
Who did you buy that place off of?
We bought that, we
That
bought the
property out
place.
there?
Yeah, I'm JCDC. This is Mike Fisher with Fisher Packing.
Who did you buy it off of?
We bought it from Bell Aquaculture.
Okay, who did Bell Agriculture buy it from us?
No idea.
They bought it.
Okay, now the Bell Agriculture went bankrupt.
Yeah.
All right, and when
Well, I don't know if they went bankrupt or not, but we bought it from them.
so the tax abatement, are you saying that how does the tax abatement work?
The tax abatement is a tax savings on that real estate and the personal property to Bell Aquaculture. And it will save them money on their taxes for the 10 years, and it's a sliding scale.
But does it cost us money?
No,
So we just don't get that tax money,
at this point, yes.
so.
They're investing into your town, which builds up your tax base,
Can
and
I-
providing employees.
We just don't get the tax money.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
because
it's-
we're giving you,
Right,
It's a
it's sliding
it's a
scale.
sliding scale.
all right.
So the abatements that we got when we first bought in, those are timing out,
Yeah.
and those are now will be paid in full.
I
Once from
understand
2
that.
years ago or halfway up that.
Right.
We got the taxes from the Redkey Economic Development Corporation.
But they're not the same entity.
That's not to do with them, Jimmy.
We paid
That's what you get
$900
here.
taxes, just a minute.
They have nothing to do with it.
Oh, yes, it's
Nothing.
EDIC is Redkey Economic Development Corporation. Then how come Redkey right here, town board, should go give you all a tax break? And everything.
What's that got to do with them?
We pay taxes on 22, 21, 20, and 23, right here it is.
On Fishers,
On Fishers out
we
there.
paid the taxes?
We paid the taxes, right there it is.
Are we paying their taxes?
No.
Well, right here it is.
See it
All right,
black and
let's
white,
make
Gary. Where's
I
the
need a
black and
motion
white?
to
Where's
pass the
paper?
tax abatement for, Fisher's Packing.
Let's move on.
I need a motion to pass the
I'll make
tax
I'll make a
abatement.
motion to accept their tax abatement or whatever.
need a
it is,
second.
move on. I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Jimmy?
We're going to find out what's
We are gonna find out, but we still need business, so yes or no, please.
Mr. Fisher, is there anything this town can do to help you more?
Okay.
Doing all we can out there,
All
we're
right.
can't help we can get though, for sure.
Anything we can do to help you along, to flourish?
With the tax abatement, yes.
Alright, it passed 3. Jimmy, what's your
I'm
vote?
still trying to find out what's going on out there at the EDIC.
Well, but I still need a
I will
vote,
find
yes or
out.
no,
I
huh?
mean,
I
I
need a
get it.
Okay, then say no.
Huh?
Then say no if you mean
I'm going
no.
to say no,
Okay,
but then I'm going to investigate a little bit more.
we do need to investigate,
And that
so.
lawyer right there, when he looked it up, he said we paid $110,000 for it back in 2017.
It was the other
Jimmy, what do you want them to do? Move out? Is that what you want them to do?
We're moving along. It was passed, moving along.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mark, all right.
No worries.
All right, and now we need, this is the second reading for the ordinance on allowing hens in our town, but not roosters, so now we can vote on that,
I
so.
revisited this and I don't think I want to do it.
You don't wanna do it?
Don't want to do it.
Okay. Well, we still need to, I need a motion to pass the ordinance for the hens.
What did he know, what did he vote
Oh,
on?
we done
So
had.
Jenny made an ordinance to go ahead and pass the ordinance for a hen. Do I have a second? So you're not gonna second it, Floyd? Well, I'll second it. So now let's vote. Jimmy,
I vote for it.
Floyd, Dave,
Nope.
I vote yes. Gloria, you're the tiebreaker.
So what is it? They
For
don't
the
want-
chickens, the
they don't
ordinance
want
for
it.
the
What is it
chickens.
They don't want?
the ordinance at all, so they don't wanna
Oh.
allow chickens.
Okay, and they're just not gonna, they're gonna allow chickens but no roosters?
No roosters, right.
Okay. I'll vote yes.
All right, so then the ordinance passes. All right, discuss, okay, where did this come from? Discuss new cell phones for the clerk's office. Can rent with Comcast, okay, go ahead, is that up to you, Gloria? or
Well,
you
I
want-
just wanted to bring it before the board because we had some trouble with our phones and we had Comcast come out because it would, when we'd be on the line, it would ring, how was that?
It ring into the fax machine.
Yeah, and then it was,
Sometimes people couldn't get through, sometimes we'd be talking and just hang up. I mean, just, if you couldn't
he
hear.
fixed something and in the back with the phone. And we don't have any trouble now with it being busy, because people would call and it'd be busy, and there was one line open, but he fixed something that he had to push a button or something.
So if he comes out for the $30 or $60 a month, what do we get for that?
Well, we get new phones, but also, John said, and then someone else, forgetting who else I talked to.
The phones in there, so.
Said you
they
were
are
old and
way
outdated.
Said you can buy them direct, buy your phones direct from
Yeah.
some company, and then you don't have that monthly charge. But if, I guess we need to check and see.
So, question is, them versus Verizon, where does Comcast have an office at to have the phones worked on? Is there one local? Muncie?
Was this recommended by our IT guy, the Comcast?
No, Comcast phone company comes. We called them because our phone,
That's who our phone is through now, is Comcast, okay?
we called them because we was having issues with it, being busy when people would call. And so he come out and he had to, something in the back in the garage, he had to,
That wiring needs update. There's some of the wiring even just, could really use, and I can't remember what their service call is. A service call for somebody to really tell us what all we need, and then a quote of what all that's gonna cost us.
So we're gonna have to have them come in and give us a quote on what they can do and what it's gonna cost, Gloria, and then
Comcast, and then
yes.
someone,
And then we'll
another
bring it to the
company.
next board
Can we
meeting.
make a motion, maybe get Verizon?
Well, we can check on both Comcast and Verizon to see the comparable prices of what they will offer us.
Why don't you go through VoIP?
Huh?
Why don't you use VoIP? It would be, you wouldn't have. to
Say it
go
again.
VoIP,
VoIP,
voice over IP. It's a voice over phone. That's what I use for my work.
voice over phone. I have never heard of it, so I'm still having a hard time. Who do I call?
You can get WebEx and you just have a phone number.
Oh my gosh, you're too technical for me. We'll look into it.
Definitely look into it.
VoIP,
Yes.
VoIP, VoIP. We're gonna gonna look into it, just put look into
So
VoIP and I'll come up and call
You're
Sarah.
using the internet as the phone line, instead of a phone line, you're actually.
So what happens if the internet goes down though? Does the office not have no access to a phone?
Well, if your internet goes down with Comcast, you're gonna lose your phone.
We have
anyway.
landline right now, so we don't lose phone.
Well, then yes, you would lose your.
Well, I don't know that that would be a good idea.
Just
I'll
an
try,
option
we'll
to
look into it.
Option to
We'll,
look into.
we'll still look into it. So we're gonna look into Verizon, Comcast, and VoIP, and we'll bring it to the next
Can I ask you a
board meeting.
question?
What?
Gloria? Gloria, don't we send Verizon a bill too?
That is
For the
the
police.
police
Okay.
officers' cell phones.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna look into VoIP, Comcast, and Verizon, and we'll bring it to the next board meeting. Yes, Bailey?
Were you guys gonna vote, maybe I missed it, were you gonna vote on the water fine ordinance today? Is that ready for voting or is it not?
We had already voted on that,
I
and,
know,
huh?
I know you had voted to move forward with it last month or something.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was
Revisit it.
like-
We'll make, okay, so we can, let me see that, did I give it to you or did you give it back? Okay,
Well,
so.
I lose track of things.
Well, the ordinance that, Mara come up with for the tampering, can we make a motion to accept this ordinance? For the water tampering.
I still don't think that line's enough.
That's what she came up with state statutes though, so let's start with
You
this.
said
Dave.
$400 in Delaware County, right?
But it can be the first fine can be up to $500. So,
It just said that the 150 is just a minimum.
yes, that's a minimum. So can I please have a motion to pass this ordinance that Mara came up with? Dave?
I'll make a motion.
Dave makes a motion to accept the ordinance for the water tampering. Can I have a second? Lloyd seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
No.
For getting in there and turning their own water back on,
Full meeting
Jimmy?
to save everybody a bunch of money.
Okay, Jimmy says no. Floyd? Your vote?
Yes.
Dave? Brenda, yes. So the ordinance passes.
Hey, we never visited the fire department. Mark's here, so he's the fire department.
Okay. So just so we know before Mark starts, so we're gonna go to Comcast, Verizon, and VoIP, and she's gonna look into it and bring it to the next board meeting for the phones out at the city building, if that's okay. All right. Mark?
I sent a message to Laura earlier in the month. We had some concerns at our last meeting about the contract that we had. And just clarifying a couple things on where the money was coming out of. I haven't heard back from her yet on that.
So, I'll contact Mara too. Will you write that down, that the fire department's still questioning, some of the, where the money's coming from for the fire department funds?
Okay.
And that they left a couple messages with no return call. She is sick, so,
And I had just sent an email that I actually called her.
okay. All right. Anything else from the fire department? I heard you guys got your boots.
We did.
Good.
Boots are in,
Good.
so nice to have some that don't leak and.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Anything else?
I guess I don't know where everything has gotten to with the old fire station. I guess our main concern is just making sure that we're still able to use that for storage for the 2 trucks that are up there.
Well, we need to come together and work on that because everybody needs to have access. This council needs to have access and the fire department needs to have access. So as long as we can come to some agreement to that. I mean, and we don't even have to have them on our persons, but at least they can be up and, Gloria can have which we do have the keys right now unless you guys have changed them again.
We haven't done anything to the building except for their stuff out there.
We did have the other furnace in there was broke and Bill did get the other furnace working, so when we got in there it was not functioning, so it is functioning now. But we will meet, and I did see your email. I'm sorry, my dog passed away and I was not gonna come to a meeting, so but we will get together. I'm free. You can let me know when you guys are free again and I'll come to that meeting. And then we still have to vote on department heads. I forgot that in the process. So what do you want?
I like sewage.
You still want to be over the sewer?
Yeah, we got a lot of problems down there.
All right, Gavin still wants to be over the parks. So I'm gonna do, I don't know, Dave, I mean, are you just still gonna be over streets?
I'm gonna be streets and park both.
Huh?
I do these streets and parks both.
Well, Gavin's still
I
got
don't see anybody
parks.
there.
Well, he's not here today, but he's still on the council, so he can still have parks. I'm gonna take police. So, Floyd, you still want fire department?
Yep.
So Floyd's still over the fire, Dave, you still over streets?
Yeah.
Gavin's over parks, and I guess I'll do sewer and police, and you can do, I'll do
tell you
water
what,
and
but
police.
just give me a part, let Gavin have streets.
Okay, that's fine. You take parks and Gavin can take streets. That's
So
fine.
Dave took what, the streets?
Parks, Dave's over the park,
Oh, he is, okay.
yeah, Gavin's over street,
Oh, you switched it, okay.
Floyd's over fire, Jimmy's over sewer, and I'll do water and police. And then we have a guest here. We have Donna for a water issue. Is she here?
Yes. I guess maybe I should have been on the adjustment list. I didn't know when I signed up. Well, I want to stand up so I can see you. I have a camera on my home. Notifies me when someone's in my front. It watched you read my meter.
I ain't never read your meter.
Yes, you have.
Okay.
I got an attitude and can argue too.
When did I read your meter? It wasn't this month.
Nope.
Last month.
Anytime that man there's read my meter, I've not had an issue with my
It was
water.
Heather. It was Heather this month or last
No, it
month.
was not. It was that man right there on my camera.
He read your meter?
He did. He got out of his
Okay,
truck.
wait, I thought you said it was me reading it.
The bill I'm talking about here, I keep all my bills,
Okay.
okay? My ringtone alerted me I had someone out front. I proceeded to watch you on your golf cart read my meter once.
Okay.
You took off down the street. You're wailing it around, barking something, whoever was with you, I did not know.
My kid.
Come back, read my meter again.
Okay.
Why you read it twice? Never happens before. So I get the bill. Okay, here's where I'm going with the story. And it's over 5,000 gallons. I've lived here 21 years. Once in 21 years has my bill been over 5,000 gallons when I had a leak that they had to dig up my whole driveway. So my question is, why after you read it, it's that, because I don't think it was read right, because you went from mine back to the neighbors, back to your golf cart, all around. I don't know if you got their number on mine. That's what upped it, because there's 5 in their household and 2 in mine.
It's all computerized. There's no way. It doesn't matter if I read your meter 50
But
times.
what I'm saying is maybe you read their meter with mine. I don't know how that all works.
It's all linked to your, so your meter has a set of numbers on it.
Correct.
And that wand, when you click a button, knows your meter number and it registers the reading for your meter number.
So
And
why
I
after
can't
20
alter or manipulate
Why after
anything.
21 years did this jump? Just this once. Now he continues to read it. I don't have issues with it. I didn't have issues before when Bill and Randy and even Grady read it. I always have, consistent. And then
What bill was it?
it was the bill that I paid in December.
So it would have been for November.
Yes. It was over 5,150 gallons. That would have meant I had a leak. Did not have a leak. Because A, I had nobody come and fix anything in my home. Nothing was running. Nobody stayed there extra. 2 people, again. This following month, my bill goes back down to its normalcy. So what happened?
Would you explain to her how the meter reading works so that she
Well, now
can
wait,
understand?
I'm not
So
done with
whether
my
it can or
story.
can't be manipulated?
There's people that has informed me that they got a bill, Billy saw it and said, called him and said, you used over 5,000 gallons, so I'm going to do this, this, and this, correct?
Which is this
She
adjustment.
marked out a bill and penciled in an amount. Who picks and chooses when you use over 5,000 gallons to change your bill?
Everybody gets one
gets an
adjustment.
adjustment. Did you ever ask me for adjustment?
But how they didn't ask you? You called,
When we do the,
Billy, you sent the bill out to them with the adjustment already on it.
because they called me on the phone. Who are
They
you talking
didn't
about?
No, I'm not gonna give no
Well,
names.
first of all, you can't discuss with her somebody else's business.
No.
Okay. Well,
They
anyway,
showed me the bill that you marked out. They came to the office and asked you why you marked it out When they got it in the mail, it was already adjusted. They said, you told them, quote unquote, because they used over 5,000 gallons, that was not the norm. They first asked Gloria. Gloria said that was your job. She didn't know how to deal with it. So they came to you. You figured it out and said, you took a 3-month
Yes, that's what
billing
you do.
and then put it on there.
Yes.
You did that before they ever got the bill. So are you looking at the gallons of everybody's?
No. When you get done, I'll explain to you. When you get
Okay.
done asking, okay. Every time when they read the meters, they come in, we plug the wand in.
Right.
And the new meters is a whole different thing. But we plug the wand in, it comes on the thing. I have several, probably 12 reports I gotta print every time we do that. And each one of them is something different. And there's a high-low usage and a 0 usage. So we have to go through 500 some people, and if you just go through them all, if you see a 0 read or something that's like 19,000 sticking way out, that normally than what they usually do, then we have to go reread those meters. Or I don't, they have to reread them. But in the meantime, after I call them and say, this is what this is gonna be, and I try to give them a heads up, so they don't come in there cussing me in, because when I first hired in, people would come in there cussing me. So they told me to try to call them ahead if I could find them, tell them ahead what their bill's gonna be, that they could get the adjustment. But I just found out last month that I hadn't been bringing all the adjustments to the meetings, because I didn't know that. They told me last month that now you have to come to the board meeting to get adjustments. But in the meantime, yes, that's why we do that, because you'll see somebody that'll use, like that one lady, I called her bill was $1,700. I knew her bill was never that high.
You're not looking at dollars, you're not looking at gallons.
Right, no, I have no idea about the gallons. I look at the money. And then it
So
shows
a
their previous.
$50 increase in it wouldn't sway you one way or the other.
Do what, honey?
A $50 increase wouldn't sway you one way or the other, when you're looking at it, correct? Because that's what it boiled down to
If it
online.
does, if I look at that, and I look back and it's $95 all the time and it went up 50, yes, and I know who you're talking about, and I talked to Brenda, and Brenda went and checked, and they had a leak.
So what I'm saying is, I'm trying to figure out how, you're saying you're looking at dollar amounts. So somebody that pays $142 a month gets a $190 bill, that didn't kind of throw you off? I thought you looked at gallons. When I'm using 3,100 and I'm topping out at almost 5,200, that's over 2,000 gallons.
The computer system flags who you need to look at. So it will tell her, if somebody's not using any water and they should be, the computer flags it. If somebody's went up so many more extra gallons, then the computer flags it. And those are the ones that she looks at, and then she calls Bill or Ted or myself and says,
So what's the ratio when it's flagged?
that's something that we will look into and get back with you. I don't know. Do you by any chance know, Ted, off the top of your head, who?
It's with the software.
It is with the software. Let's get a hold of Keystone and see what that.
Frustrating. Like I said, the only time I've ever had a bill over 5,000 gallons was when I did have a leak. That was fixed at my expense, and then I had to still come in front of the board, even though Randy was the one that shut me off. They drug my driveway up and had to lay all new piping because the leak was on my side from the city. I had to show proof that I had a main shut-off put in my house.
Yeah,
That ordinance has been in place as long as I've lived in this town.
And it still
And then
is.
it was revisited back 4 years ago by West Sheminar, drew a new one up if you look back,
yeah.
pertaining to that you can't just be calling the office getting them. The people that homeowners or the landlord who owns the property
Right.
has to come in front of the board, show that there is a main shut-off. Yes, if you read the ordinance,
I didn't
show
know
that
that.
there is a main shut-off for that tenant or the homeowner to use to keep from having to have that man come out and turn it off at
In
the
the
pit.
middle of the night, that's correct.
We
Yes.
tell everybody that has a leak, you have to show proof that you have a shut-off valve and a receipt that whoever fixed it.
Exactly, but they're supposed to approach the board about it,
See, and
not just the office.
See, I didn't know that. They told me that last month, and that is my fault, but I wasn't told that. And then somebody told me last month, and I said, it was in December. They said, starting in January, we have to go through the board. That's why I brought those adjustments. I haven't never before, I didn't know that.
Because like I said, Every time that my ringtone says somebody's at my front, I see who is reading my meter. And that man there read it, no issues. He gets out, does his thing, and goes on.
You didn't come for adjustment though, did you? Did you ask?
Well, I was issued about that. I wanted to know what the cutoff, how,
I don't really know that.
because the person that I spoke to that showed me her bill that you adjusted before she ever got it in the mail. It came to her that way.
Yeah.
You had already made
No,
her adjustment.
I don't know, I can't say that. I can't.
Yeah, because
I can't agree with
she
that.
said that she went in there and also,
Well, if that's the case, please don't do that anymore. Please bring them to the board meeting. And I know you didn't know, and I said something to you in
Yeah.
December. So now this year, that's what we're gonna do, is bring all
We were
of
under
us.
the impression when you guys said give everybody adjustment, if they asked for an
Right.
adjustment, we would give them adjustment, and we didn't bring it before you guys.
Right.
That's
We
true,
didn't
but she's
realize
saying
that.
that she gave them an adjustment without them asking, is what she's saying.
Oh,
So-
I never known her to do that, but maybe she did.
I can't answer that.
And until-
I know I did-
and until-
I know I did that person, I did, because
Oh, you
the
did.
bill was high, yeah.
Just to clarify, until we revisit that adjustment ordinance that we passed, you have to still allow them to say, I want an adjustment, and you still have to give it to them until that is revisited.
Right.
But you still need to write all of the ones that you do down
I
and bring
do.
it to the board meeting so that we can at least know who we're
Right.
adjusting.
And I,
So
that's
we-
what,
At
that's all
least
the
so Ted
tasks
can
this year.
account for water loss.
That's all the tasks this month, that's it.
All right,
Starting this year.
all right.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about that,
well, I just wondered
still learning
if
hard.
there's any way to implement, like I said, I'm using 3,000 and then I get a bill for almost 5,200 and I had no lead.
I could ask Keystone Thursday when I go in, cause I have no idea.
And I can tell you, there is no way for anyone to manipulate those numbers except for the woman behind the desk.
Well, I just found the amount, I just found it funny, Brenda, that's all. I'm just making a joke about it.
So-
You were out there with that wand, doing this, wheeling around on the golf cart, came back, did it again, and the next month I get the high bill, and I'm like, seriously?
Well, I can't always remember whether I did or didn't read a meter, so it's better to do it twice than to not do it at all, so.
And there ain't no way I can manipulate them bills, I plug that.
In other words, adjust it.
Oh, yeah, just, yeah.
You're the only person that can do that, not
Yeah.
me. So John Watson was in here, he's the little guy that wants to, live in the shed or whatever. I, got a hold of John, at the county, huh?
Himmelgarn.
Yes, John Himmelgarn, and he gave me state statutes that the gentleman has to follow. I gave it to him. He first came in, I gave it to him, I gave him John's number, told him to contact John, and he said he didn't need it to be at this meeting, so he was very much so taken care of. And now, is there anything out here that anybody wants to make quick and talk about? Anybody have anything?
I got one thing.
What's that, Jimmy?
And these two cops that we hired in January and February, we give them a clothing allowance, $1,100, $550. They're supposed to turn in receipts, and if they don't turn in no receipts, then the IRS wants the money.
And Gloria knows that, she's already
Okay,
dealing with
Gloria.
turning it into the
Yeah.
IRS, yeah, she's,
Okay.
yeah, so.
The receipts.
That, they will get some kind of a 10 something,
As long as
1099
they
or
pay
something,
taxes.
yeah.
1099,
Yeah.
I'll have to do that.
And then I just wanna welcome everybody that, that, have you said who you're gonna? So Kay will take care of the cops and let you know who got on, or you already said who it was, didn't you?
Yeah, I said who we're leaning towards.
Okay, all right, so welcome aboard and welcome aboard. Sutton. You got it, all right. What?
We passed the animal control.
The animal ordinance is passed, and so is the,
So that one passed too?
Yes,
The
yes.
Cs?
Yes.
If I can just make a couple comments, just on, for me though, as the police goes. Usually I say a little bit, few things was just been working sporadic hours. Being the only cop, just trying to make sure that I keep my hours at different hours. Like somebody asked me today, they're like, when do you work? And the person next to him at the gas station said, why, so I'm out here at like 1 a.m. the other night. So, you'll see me at different hours. And then High Street, there's been a few things that were reported that were unusual compared to normal. So definitely if you guys get any reports, never be scared to call one, or you know, during the day, if anyone needs to get a hold of me, they can easily call the city building, talk to Gloria, Billy, and they'll get with me on it. Um,
Is that east, west, or both, John?
it was actually on the north side of High, West High.
Yeah.
West side, okay.
Yep, on the
Be
north
nice
side
to
of
have
West
it
High.
It's actually in the business district, so.
Yeah, and then tried watching Main Street. I know some of you guys have asked me about watching that specifically. Again, so kind of glad to say it for YouTube as well. You guys can easily call the city building at 765-369-2711. If there's anything you guys want me to do different, ever call that number, say something if I'm not patrolling a certain area. Because I'm trying to patrol what you guys had said that there were some issues. I know there was some issues I noticed a peak at four-wheelers. I want to say it's because of snow. But nonetheless, and then a couple snowmobiles. Just wanted to do a reminder on that one. And then I can't do much on loose dogs. I've had a few for loose dogs. There's not much I can do without animal control willing to come out and actually get them.
We don't have animal control.
But we don't have animal control. So at this point with loose dogs, there's not much I can do.
What's our ordinance say?
The ordinance would be, our ordinance on loose dogs, I'd have to go back and revisit it. I did have that one memorized.
Have to shoot them.
Huh?
Don't shoot them.
No.
Unless they come with the mouth.
No, I
Maybe
know
we need
that
to revisit
supposed
that.
to, for the ordinance though, the biggest part of it would be me, well, because it's based on animal, at one point we had animal control. So it's kind of been, back and forth on it, but now we don't, so now we're gonna need to come up with something to do with the animals.
Well, we're gonna have to revisit the animal ordinance, ordinance.
There's not a lot specifically that it says about it, it's kind of vague.
Well, we'll have to revisit that.
Especially if I don't know whose dog it is, it's very vague for me.
Because we've had 5 different dogs in our yard we've never seen before. And it went from our house to yours, the one today.
Well,
this morning.
I know that 2 of them belong to the lady in the corner, Cindy. She always lets hers run loose all over the place. And we call her and tell her, but
Yeah.
they get out again. So we'll have to revisit that ordinance and see what we can do. And actually, will you fax that ordinance tomorrow and see if there's any way that we can.
The animal one?
Yeah. Well, is it the dog control? Is that the same one? Is the one that we passed for the hens the same one? It's a different one. The dog one is different.
Yeah, we need one for dogs.
Okay, we need one for dogs. So we need one.
I mean, there's
unleashed
dogs
one.
talking about needing to be on leashes and
Yeah,
fencing,
it's
but
tied up.
it's a very vague, but it doesn't give me much on loose dogs.
Okay.
Other than it talks about it fine, but it still doesn't tell me what to do. Like, what if I don't know who the dog is?
Okay, so Austin, we need to know when the cop goes out, what his rights are, what he can do with the dog, and how much of a fine we can charge him. So we need something like this ordinance on what we can fine him on first offense, second offense, third
Well,
offense.
but my big thing is like, what do I do with the dog, period, if it's still loose? That's the big thing.
We beat this horse for 20 years, still get the same results.
What happens if they bite somebody though, that's the thing.
But he means like, what would he do with it if he got it with his car?
Yeah, it's
Well,
like-
that's what I said, we have to, I mean, I guess we need to,
That's Floyd's.
can you get this up?
I mean, you have a jail out there, don't you?
A jail?
The state police post.
We don't have a
We don't
jail
have
out
no,
there.
at the
You
state
have no
police.
jail out the state police
Oh,
post?
no, those are just little rooms, that's it.
Okay, so you got a little room, just stick them in a little room.
We wouldn't have no way for them to potty or nothing.
Puppy pets, what do you think I got?
We'll take the cats, we got the dogs. What we really.
Mark,
Litter boxes now.
okay, Mark,
Just a quick reminder for everybody, there's a
Yeah.
free recycling trailer that sits between the post office and my store uptown.
and they're not for box springs and
That
mattresses.
is for recycling. It's open every Saturday, or the first Saturday of the month, from 9 to 12. It's not for big trash items. There was a box spring.
I read that.
That's a good way to get that taken away from us, I think. So, other towns are dealing with the same problem, but just a reminder for everybody, that is for recycling items only.
Is that something you take care of then, Mark?
Uh,
Is that something you take care of?
No, Jay County Solid Waste Management is who takes care of it. I just let them use my property to put it on.
Okay.
And they're out there after Will's.
Won't they put it
So
up
again,
by
there's a recycling every Saturday.
First Saturday of the month,
Okay,
from 9 to 12 is when it's open.
first Saturday, 9 to 12 for recycle.
And it's not an open top, so if you throw something up there, it's not gonna go in.
So you have to open it and close it. Okay, got ya.
I guess my lost rate is all about.
Should we call Waste Management, this townwide cleanup schedule? Because if you don't, it's scheduled way out.
Billy, do we have it already scheduled for townwide cleanup? Oh, so May and what?
May, was it,
It's usually May and October.
The week after, they have a
May
road set.
3rd, I'd said May, I'd have to look, I got a note on my desk. And then in September.
Oh, May and September, so it's May and September.
Yeah, you don't get it
Last year I
scheduled out. when the-
Last year I made the one too late, so I tried to make it earlier this year, everybody griped. So I tried to make everybody happy, but
Billy, will you post that on, the Redkey Town Hall site? Townwide cleanup, what the dates are?
I think we tried to work with you to figure it out, didn't we?
Yeah, so whatever you guys decide on the townwide cleanup, we'll do the townwide runners.
Okay, I'll post that.
Alright.
When is it?
September, or I mean,
Well, when
May
you get
and
back to the office, you
September.
can figure it out, but if you'll post that also on, Redkey Town Hall site, it would
Is
be
there
nice.
anything
Just
else
wait
on
till
water
after
bills?
Mother's Day.
Oh, you can put it on the water bills now if you don't have anything else, put, just an FYI that it's May and then do it again the month before, okay?
Hey, real quick, we've got a local axe throwing league starting at my axe hall. This Friday, there's a completely free meet and greet. If you guys know anybody, we're kid friendly that can come in, as long as a parent signs a liability waiver. So this Friday, they can come in and throw some axes for free and see what our local league is about, if they're interested in joining our axe throwing league that's right here in Redkey.
Friday from what time to what time?
Friday from 6 till everybody leaves.
6 p.m. till close.
You gonna put that on Facebook
Yeah.
or Redkey?
And if you guys don't follow my business pages on there, we're always doing events and stuff like that. We have a bunch of different events throughout the year, Fall Fest and things like that, so.
Is there anything else? All right, this meeting is adjourned.